Well, a very good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to St George's Park for the second part of our doubleheader, England and Wales Futsal International, coming your way in the next moment or two. And as you can see, the two teams just being led out onto the playing arena by our officials for this afternoon. Second part then of this futsal doubleheader here this afternoon, and England with the advantage. They won yesterday's match by 2-1, tightly contested affair. Second half goal from Liam Palfreyman settling the issue. The two sides will line up as part of the respect campaign, and we'll have the anthems for you in just a moment. Once again, a very decent attendance inside St George's Park.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of England.
Lovely rendition of both anthems there, as you'd expect. International football coming your way this afternoon from St George's Park, England against Wales. I'm Dave Bracegirdle, and absolutely delighted to be joined this afternoon as our match summariser for this international by a man who's got a foot in both camps, the current England under-23 head coach, former Welsh international Sean Kitson, alongside me in the commentary box. Good afternoon, Sean.
Good afternoon, Dave. Thanks for having me this afternoon. Thank you.
Wondering what we're going to get today. Second half of a double-header. It was a tight, cagey affair yesterday. England squeaking through by 2-1. I'm guessing both sides will have had a look at the footage yesterday, and they will have come up with some sort of game plan in which they can assert the initiative today. What sort of game are you expecting?
Yeah, it's really interesting. Watching the game yesterday, I think both managers would have come away relatively happy. 12 months on since England lost to Wales in the Four Nations, so they'll certainly be happy with the result. And you know, for large parts of the game, Wales frustrated England. So I expect the early exchanges will be, again, pretty tight and tense, and it'll be interesting what the coaches have changed overnight to make a difference in that attacking final third, and that's what I'm really interested in today.
Our officials just calling the two skippers to the centre circle. Our referee is Peter Nurse. Second referee today, Carl Jones, and Michael Harris will be the third referee alongside the timekeeper, Mitch Palmer. As you can hear, the PA system here at St George's Park in good working order. It will die down in just a second, and we'll be able to hear ourselves thinking. We've got the starting fives for both teams. England will have Mark Croft in goal, Doug Reed, captain Rayoni Medina, James Webb and Richard Ward. Wales will begin with Matt Morris, skipper Chris Hugh, who didn't feature yesterday, Adam Orme, who scored the Welsh goal, Elliot Thomas and Naeem Arsan. They are listed to be the starting five. One man missing today for England. If you watched our coverage yesterday, Max Kilman had a very solid game yesterday. Well, he's away on FA Cup duty today, playing for Maidenhead United away at the Rico against Coventry City in the FA Cup. Spoiler alert, last I heard there were a couple of goals down, but let's hope Max Kilman, a product of both futsal and football, is enjoying himself on the Rico turf this afternoon. We're nearly ready to get underway. As you can hear, the Tannoy announcer still in full throttle. We'll bring Sean back in just a second. And there we are. We can just about hear ourselves think, Sean. A foot in both camps. You know all these players, don't you? Very, very well.
Yeah, I think, well, yeah, from my time in Wales, I think 10 out of the 14 I think I played with. All the England guys from playing in the National League and coaching in the National League for the last 10 years. Yeah, they're all familiar to me, so it's nice to be able to watch them up close and personal today and see them put on a good performance. I'm certainly excited to see what this game 2 is going to bring.
A lot of die-hard futsal fans out there. Apologies to you guys, but I'm sure we'll have a lot of newcomers. We'll try and explain one or two of the nuances of the game, one or two of the differences of the game between this and the five-a-side you might play in your sports halls or your clubs or your colleges as we go on. England are going to get us underway. 20 minutes each half, two halves. The clock stops when the ball is out, and I noticed that perhaps the two best singers, certainly the two loudest singers of the national anthem, Richard Ward and skipper Rayoni Medina, are both standing on the halfway line and are going to get the game underway. Our lead official, Peter Nurse, just checking with the timekeeper, and we're away with England, of course, in there all white, Wales in there slate grey with the green piping. Made the point yesterday. I'll bring Sean in a moment as a proud Welshman. I like to see Wales in red, breathing the dragon, the traditional colours. Here's Richard Ward, plays his futsal in Italy, and there's a foul committed very early on by the Welsh skipper Chris Hugh.
Interesting little subtle difference. England starting with a sort of flat 4-0 formation. Rayoni Medina is usually a pivot. He's gone into that position now, but it'll be interesting to see if tactically England do anything different formation-wise.
Elliot Thomas, who was the Welsh captain yesterday, going to take the ball from the far side, and once he's spotted it up, as you saw, the official there raised his arm to indicate that the 4 seconds has begun. The player has 4 seconds to play the ball once it's deemed to be back in play.
I think Chris Hugh was a little bit annoyed there. I think he wanted the advantage. Richard Ward just pulling him back there. I mean, Chrissy Hugh plays Welsh Premier League football, and that's why he wasn't here yesterday. So, and he's their captain, so he's a big addition today for them. And he's a goal threat as well. Very good left foot.
He's another one of the Welsh contingent that plays his futsal for the Cardiff University club. I think 9 of the squad in total play there. He drills it into a wall of English defenders, and the ball balloons away. Can play the ball over head high in futsal. Chris Hugh, who's been involved in the early stages, scuffs one wide of the target. It remains 0-0 in playing terms. We've had 47 seconds. Here's James Webb, plays for the Helvetia club. Ward back to a very experienced Doug Reed, plays for the Manchester club. Nice ball forward from Webb, and that'll be cleared by Thomas. It's very cagey yesterday, cat and mouse affair. 19 minutes on the clock before we had the first goal. There's neighbours, who's got a very decent dig on him with his left foot. And it's gone out for a Welsh corner.
Yeah, Raoni Medina back into the pivot position there, playing that 3-1. Similarities to yesterday, England having lion's share of possession. Can they get that ball in more threatening areas?
Well, that's an ambitious effort from yesterday's goal scorer, Adam Orme, and he's lifted the ball high up onto the gantry away to our right. Ball quickly back in play. Again, if futsal's something that you've only recently been introduced to, very fast tempo to the game, very skillful game. A lot of technical qualities with all of the players. A little tussle for the ball on the far side. Back to Webb. Here's Doug Reed. A little bit like basketball. Substitutions very much roll on, roll off, as you'll see as we go on. Neither side has made a change as yet. And just playing very patiently here, but closed down by the Welsh side, and that's good pressing by Naeem Arsene.
Wales very, very solid at that man-to-man defence around half court. It's nice to see England just trying to threaten with their movement a little bit further behind the defensive lines.
Solid challenge in the middle of the park by Orme. Reed again, very experienced player. Right across Europe, Serbia, Croatia, Spain. That's out on the far side, and it goes out, and it remains 0-0 with just under 3 minutes of actual playing time having elapsed. 2 halves of 20 minutes playing time to decide this international friendly. England yesterday winning the contest by 2 goals to 1. It's good work again by Arsene on the left. Forces a corner kick, more pressure on the England goal.
Naeem Arsene, he's come on such leaps and bounds in the last few years. He started off in my time in and out of the sort of team, but he's really taken on a lot more responsibility, and it shows. He played very well last night, I thought.
Part of a Wrexham futsal squad. Foul there against the England captain Medina. England have committed 2 fouls. The relevance of that will become clear as we move along. Sides are on red alert once they've conceded 5 fouls, because the 6th one in a half will mean the opposition get a free strike on goal. Here's Hugh drilling it straight into the waiting hands of England goalkeeper Mark Croft, who also plays in Italy for the Valari club near Bari. Webb rolls it forward to the England captain Medina, holding the ball up nicely in the pivot role there, as Sean Kitson was just describing to you. Richard Ward again, back to Doug Reed. Very much a game of 1 against 1. You're trying to get the better of your immediate opponent, and Medina did well there, forced the shot in, and Matt Morris turns it away for a corner kick.
Nice diagonal pass in from James Webb to Raoni. Lovely little turn. That's the area you want to get him in when he's back to goal, 1v1. He's very strong in that area.
Corner by Doug Reed. Ball lifted high for Ward, drills it against the body of Orme and away for an England ball. A lot of differences, as we were saying, between the traditional 5-a-side that you get in sports halls. No boards to play the ball off here. You can play the ball over head-eye. Lots of other little things. No 2-touch football, and a lot of football clubs sort of use that format as a practice game. But there are standardised world futsal rules, and it is very, very big business on the continent, in South America. England, in fact, all the UK countries playing catch-up. Chris Hugh back to Elliot Thomas. Nice little 1-2 down this touchline, and Wales having a promising start here, and it's turned in by their captain Chris Hugh, back in the side today, and back with a bang. He scores with his left foot, and inside 4 minutes, Wales are on the board. It's England 0, Wales 1.
Interesting, not too dissimilar to the first goal yesterday. A little parallel line pass down to Chrissy Hughes, finished it off. Really tight angle, almost on the baseline, but similarities from yesterday. England, can they trap those runners on those line passes?
So England, as they were yesterday, finding themselves a goal adrift. really made an impact in the early stages. The goal notwithstanding, Chris Hugh looks a very talented player. Elliot Thomas in first, puts the ball away to safety. And a lot of the Welsh players popping up to say hello to Sean when they arrived in the arena. And I think you said Elliot was a roommate for a while.
Yeah, Elliot was my first roommate with the Wales squad, and I watched the game yesterday. He's come on a lot. He captained the team yesterday in the absence of Chrissy Hugh, and I said to him before the game that like the shackles have come off. You know, playing a lot more fluid, and this is a strong starting four for Wales. They've got technically good players. I'm just wondering if they focused on that sort of line pass last night after watching the video, because I've seen it 2 or 3 times where they've tried to get down the side of England and been successful with the goal.
Changes made by England head coach Michael Skubala. There's Liam Palfreyman, who scored the winning goal yesterday. Had a very, very good game. 7 for England is Robbie Betson, who didn't feature yesterday. He plays his futsal for York City. Here's Betson drilling it towards goal. And the second attempt, keeper Matt Morris, with the help of Elliot Thomas back there, gets it away. Decent dig from Robbie Betson.
Decent start from both teams. Just seems a little bit more open than yesterday. England trying to leave space for the runner to get in behind. They've tried to flick the ball into that space to get someone on the end of it, and a great strike from Robbie.
There he is on the near side, number 7, York City player. There's Palfreyman. The big number 15, Will Rook, plays his futsal at Loughborough University. Palfreyman. England just trying to force an opening. Chris Hughes having a well-deserved break for Wales. Comes Stuart Cook and tries to lay it off to Will Rook, and can't find his man, and it will be a Wales ball, and mass changes once again being made, and for the first time since the start of the game, Rico Zulkarnian is on up front for Wales, a very skillful player. Here's Dean Maynard. First touch of the weekend for Gareth Delve. He wasn't involved yesterday either. He's one of the Cardiff University players. Dean Maynard. Nice little flick with the outside of the boot to Rhys Williams. Plays it off the shoulder nicely, and Zulkarnian should possibly have got a strike away there. Goalkeeper for England, Mark Croft, did well to the angle and dive at his feet. There's Palfreyman. Wouldn't want to go too down early on. Ball forward to Rook, nice layoff. There's Stuart Cook. A lot of bodies between him and the goal. Palfreyman. Back to Robbie Betson. Cook again. Zulkarnian closes him down. Forward to Rook, and can Wales get something on the break? Really good tempo to this one.
So Rico Zulkarnian just couldn't sort his feet out. Mark Croft with a really good save, reacting a little bit quicker. I think it would have been his first touch if he put it in. But yeah, no, the tempo is really good. It just seems there's a little bit more life, slightly more openings coming as well.
There's Will Rook deep in his own half. Jordan Edge, who scored England's first goal yesterday, right on half-time. Not as if the Welsh side were going to go in at the break with a narrow advantage, but just switched off defensively right on half-time. More changes. Calvin Dixon, number 3, comes on for England for the first time. Played 6.5 minutes here at St George's Park. You're watching FATV. Futsal friendly international between 2 fierce rivals. England in the all-white and Wales in the grey. As I said at the start, Sean, it's always disappointing when Wales aren't in the red, isn't it?
I can't see why they couldn't be in the red. Maybe they've only got one set of red kit here. But no, it's always good to see England in white and Wales in red, whatever sport it is.
Also Goldstein. 2 powerful shots yesterday that had to be turned away. Jordan Edge deep inside his own half, rolls it forward to Dixon, gets the shot away, strikes the frame of the goal, but the officials' whistle had long since gone. 3 fouls against England now. And It's fairly early, isn't it, to have 3 fouls on the ball. Reynard's crossfield ball is cut out. The whistle's gone. And again, Dixon trying to barge his way through.
Dixon there and Williams having a right tussle, one each, I think. There's a foul each there.
It's been logged against Wales. They have 2 fouls. Wales leading 1-0. 12 minutes, 52 seconds remaining in the first half. Doug Reed, going to get a strike away on goal, not straight away. Plays it square to Betson. Back to Reed. Rolls it in the path of Jordan Edge. Good pressing by the Welsh side there. In particular, Maynard and Zulkarnian. Closing the English boys down. There's Goldstein. Now Dixon. No offside in futsal as well. Graham Dell was with us yesterday in the commentary box. He was making the point that almost subconsciously some futsal players who are used to playing football as well or have had a football background, they almost subconsciously don't like to get themselves in a position where they might be deemed offside. It's just one of the things that has to sort of be eradicated from the game or from the memory immediately. There's no offside in this game. It's a game for goal angers, Sean.
Absolutely. I just to take the England development game, the under-23s game beforehand. We drew 0-0, and it was some lovely futsal being played in the first 2/3 of the court. But get yourself on that back post, get yourself a tap in, and I think that's the big thing. It's the different angles it can create by being behind your defender.
Goldstein forward to Edge, to be cleared by Gareth Delve to nobody in particular. Goes out on the near side. Both head coaches are permitted to make 1 timeout in each half. Didn't have any in the first half yesterday. Goldstein's just gone down there off the ball. I think he slipped. Nothing untoward. And with just under 12 minutes to go in the half, it remains 1-0 to Wales. A goal by their captain Chris Hugh, who's currently sat on the bench in front of us. It's out on the far side. Spectators very animated. Yesterday, I spoke to Mike Skubala about it, the England head coach, and yesterday, before the full international, before the England-Wales game, England under-19s were playing, and there was a lot of kids in the arena, and they were getting them to chant England, England, England all the way through. That's a poor pass from Dixon, it's gone out. And he said it wasn't there in the full international yesterday because everybody was just so engrossed in it. Everybody was watching the game. It really was a bit of a nail-biter yesterday.
The game happens so quickly. You end up chanting or cheering, you're going to miss something, and that's why it's great, I think, for spectators and players alike. There's just so much going on. I always sum it up. It's all the best bits of football.
Matt Morris thumping the ball away to safety for Wales there. So England ball. Cook and Webb are on, the 2 Helvetia teammates. Paul Freeman also plays for Helvetia, and so does Medina. So all 4 outfield players for England at the moment from the same futsal club in the capital. Play their futsal in the copper box. There's Webb now to Cook. It's a decent looking ball to the England captain Medina, and a nice layoff. That was pretty football from the England outfield 4, but the shot off target.
You can see their club style coming into play there. With Webb and Cook on court, I'd like to see England set up some 1v1 situations, and in those wide areas have a little go at their opposite man. They're technically very, very good and brilliant in those areas. Just cause at Wales some different problems playing a bit of 1v1.
We'll look out for that then. The 2 players that Sean Kitson was referring to just involved there. 6 is Paul Freeman. Here's Stuart Cook. Rolls it into the path of Medina. Goes to ground. The ball out on the far side. You can go to ground to block the ball or to pass it to a teammate or whatever, but you can't put a sliding tackle in on an opponent or you'll be penalised. Rossan, number 14 for Wales, back on the court. Still Wales with the narrow lead. England ball. Played short by Webb to Cook. Now Palfreyman. Goes down by Chris Hugh. There's space for anybody just to try and get a shot away, and that's cut out nicely by Elliot Thomas. Coming together on the halfway line. Welsh ball.
Wales very solid when there's that pivot on the court, and they can keep an eye closely on their players, covering them, protecting the middle part of the court. They don't want any balls going in between them or behind them. Very disciplined, they work extremely hard. Chris Hugh on the run.
Here is Hugh, gets his shot away, gets his second goal. Wonderful strike from the Welsh captain, left-footed into the bottom corner, and Wales have doubled their advantage. And that really was a stunning strike, and just what Sean Kitson was talking about. One-on-one, took his man on, beat him, created the space for the left-footed shot and found the bottom corner. It's England 0, Wales 2.
Chris Hugh obviously not playing yesterday, and he's making up for lost time. His left foot, there's not many better out there I've personally seen. And he's very aggressive in those attacking areas. He takes on the shot and he gets his rewards.
Lovely shot from distance, nothing that Mark Croft could do in the England goal. His aim was true and straight. Robbie Betson with the blue trainers on. They are trainers, aren't they? Always put that one out. They're not proper futsal shoes. You don't term them futsal shoes.
I think these days you do, Dave. Doesn't matter what sport. I think everyone's got their own specific shoe now, and they are very specific. So
here's Arsene. Rolls it back to Elliot Thomas. Everybody in the England half at the moment, apart from Wales goalkeeper Matt Morris. And I don't think anybody really could say that Wales don't deserve this advantage at the moment.
They've defended well. They make it difficult, and a couple of chances, 2 shots, and they've got something out of it. England are going to have to reply now. Good pressing from Ward.
Ball out for a Welsh ball. Glance at the clock. 9 minutes 25 seconds remain in the first half here. Second part of a double-header, England winning 2-1 yesterday. Last time the sides met was in Newport last December. Wales victorious on that occasion by 6-2. So we weren't talking in terms of revenge yesterday. Very nice to pick up the win yesterday for England. This ball will come to ground with a shot by Arsene, and quickly out of his area is Mark Croft to clear his lines. Some problems looming for Mike Skubala. Side 2-0 down, and Wales showing no inclination really of trying to sit on this lead, are they? They're pressing for a third, but they've given the ball away. Here's Ward to Goldstein, back to Ward, and he's missed from close range. Not entirely sure he had time really to do anything than just stab a boot at it, and it went narrowly wide of the post, but England's best opening possibly of the game.
It did come quick to him, but a 2v1 situation like that, I'll always be telling my players 9 times out of 10 you have to finish, and I think they'll be disappointed they didn't finish that move off.
Another break. 2 against 1, 3 against 1, and Goldstein this time straight at the keeper. 2 chances in the space of something like 10 seconds for England. Neither of them taken, both squandered. Chris Hugh, who's on a hat-trick, running at his man, is tripped by Richard Ward. And Richard Ward gets a yellow card as well. He's going to be replaced by Will Rook. Timeout now taken. And Wales have the ball. It's a yellow card to Richard Ward.
I think England on 5 fouls as well. So no more fouls this half. Otherwise, it'll be a 10-metre penalty for Wales each foul.
As Thomas shoots, it's deflected for a corner kick. Yes, to recap then. So England have committed 5 fouls in this first half, and Sean was saying there 6 or more. They have the opportunity of a direct strike on goal. This one's turned in by Gareth Pritchard. It's through to the England goalkeeper Croft. Goldstein. Nice ball out to Will Rook, and he played Doug Reed in a bit of trouble there. No Jordan Edge. It's overhit. Goes out for an England ball. He had a bit of a fortunate deflection there.
I think with Chris Hughes already demonstrated two or three times that the importance of 1v1, and he's created opportunities and got him team fouls as well. And I think England could do a little bit more of that. Really go one-on-one on their opponents in those wide areas. They have the players for it.
Jordan Edge replaced by number 6 Liam Palfreyman. Rolls it to Stuart Cook. Now Doug Reed plays for the Manchester club. Palfreyman. Rook. Pinned back inside their own half. Wales keeping them at arm's length at the moment. Doug Reed back to Cook. Palfreyman. Good move down the right, and when the ball was played into the area, there was Elliot Thomas in the nick of time just to tidy things up for Wales.
Thomas did really well at the back post there. Rook would have been a tap-in if he hadn't been there. Good covering defending-wise.
A number of players who had prominent roles yesterday yet to get their first game time this afternoon. So Connor Rogers warming up. That was a decent shot from Palfreyman, but Milky had it nicely covered. Now there will be changes, and Connor Rogers is about to come on. In fact, wholesale changes. Warren Hudson, number 3, comes on. Joshua Dorwood and Dean Maynard. So wholesale changes made by the Welsh bench. They lead by 2-0 inside 7 minutes remaining in the first half. And Warren Hudson, product of the Llandarcy Futsal Club, he's taken his eye off the ball. It's Palfreyman. That's his man on. That's a decent effort from Stuart Cook, well held by the goalkeeper.
That's what I want to see Cookie do more of. Get in those positions where he's either cutting in on his right foot or going outside on his left foot, and he does that week in, week out in the Super League, and he can probably do a little bit more of there. Good save from Matt Morris, could have snuck under him.
England versus Wales from St George's Park. Live futsal action between these two traditional rivals. Second part of a doubleheader. England winning yesterday by 2-1. Wales in the ascendancy here. Give and go on the right-hand side there. Medina trying to play in James Webb. Covering Wales defenders get the ball away. Minutes left. No sign of Michael Skubala taking a timeout as yet. Indeed, he'd love to see his side get the next goal. Joshua Dorwood just lost his balance there. Feet went from underneath him.
Wales seem to be playing with two main key fours. But they're more experienced players, those 2 fours.
Played into England, captain Medina. That's a lovely bit of play by England. That really was a lovely quick succession of passes there, and it fell to Medina inside the area. Didn't have too long to get his shot away, closed down by the defender. But England knocking on the door. There's Dean Maynard. Rogers forward by Hudson, and ball out on the far side.
Chances are certainly coming. That's free now for England. They've got to start taking some of these. They've had some great possession. That final third, they've got to start taking these chances. Need to get one back before half-time, I feel.
Just over 5 minutes remain in this first half. Maynard to Hudson, down the line to Dorwood. Patient build-up here. Maynard again. Just petered out a little bit, didn't it? They're just trying to be a little too cute there, run into a bit of a cul-de-sac.
physically strong Wales 4 in terms of size. Big presence on the court, very strong in those 1v1 individual battles.
Yeah, Dean Maynard is a real man mountain, isn't he? He's at the moment chaperoning Medina. Here they are, the two of them in direct combat, and Medina got the shot away. There's no power in it. There's Maynard again. If he says it's Wednesday, it's Wednesday. There's Hudson. Maynard again on the near side, rolls it down the line to Dorwood, trying to get it back to Medina. Palfreyman read their intentions and cut it out, but one or two little signs of frustration out there from the England 4 at the moment. Things just not quite going for them at the moment.
Just a couple of sloppy errors on regains of possession. Just need to take their time. Just relax. There's plenty of time. Get their setup right in their shape and what they're trying to do. Probably just the little details, the control, the pass. Just tidy up those little bits and pieces.
Hudson. Rolled forward to Maynard. Now Dorwood. Back to Maynard. Wales trying to draw a foul. England can't afford to concede another foul. Dorwood. Back to Hudson. Now Maynard again. To thread one right through the eye of a needle there, but there were too many England players. And leading the charge forward is Cook, and that's surely going to be turned in by Palfreyman, and it isn't. Wonderful save by the goalkeeper, Matt Morris. Looked for all money as if Palfreyman was bound to score at the far post, but again Matt Morris does very, very well to smother the opportunity.
Cook with the dribble, creates the overload, back post, and I don't know what Matt Morris did there. It's a fantastic save to stop that one. I thought it was a guaranteed goal.
Just played in the first half yesterday, pulled off some super stops. He's done so again here. There's Hudson. That's his right-footed shot away, but the goalkeeper saves. In comes Richard Ward, replacing Medina. Now Cook. Left that one alone for Doug Reed, who's back on. Now Russell Goldstein. And keeping possession on the near side, where they made 2 or 3 changes there. Referee decides that's a foul against the Welsh side.
It's my first time watching Dorwood and Hudson, and in this stint I've been impressed with the Wales 4. Physically strong, good decisions on the ball, very, very positive. Change of 4 for Wales.
4 on, 4 off. And that's because these 4 are used to playing with each. Well, they won't be at the moment because Chris Jones has come on. I think it's the first time he's featured all weekend. Number 17 over on the far side. Chris Hugh plays it to Elliot Thomas. We'll bring Sean back in a moment, but Wales very close to getting a third with Arsan from close range. Didn't have time to react. Could do nothing more than deflect the ball towards its target, and Mark Croft in the end with an easy save. There's Doug Reed. Fast and frenetic. Watching futsal for the first time. Very much hope you're enjoying it. Thrilling encounter unfolding before our eyes, with Wales, who are ranked 30 places below England in the world standings, leading by 2 goals to 0. Here's Arsan. Well done by Doug Reed. Back to the goalkeeper and the ball away. And time once again for some thoughts from England under-23 coach Sean Kitson.
I think probably a deliberate decision by the coaching team, bring Chris Jones on. He's relatively inexperienced at this level, but the other 3 have probably all played over 20-25 games. So you've got Hugh, Elliot, Arsan, very experienced to help and support Chris, and opportunity for Arsan to go back post there. I've been impressed with Wales. You know, they're just one or two things in attack that they're trying to do, and they're repeating.
Again, we haven't seen either side take a timeout in this first half. Yesterday, there's Jordan Edge, scored just before the half-time hooter yesterday. Wonder if he can do it again. It's given away back to the Welsh side, but now an opportunity to break with Richard Ward, and the goalkeeper again comes right to the edge of his area, but Elliot Thomas it was who forced it away for an England ball.
I think Graham Dale commentated yesterday saying how impressed he was with Matt Morris in goal in the first half, and to be fair to Matt Morris, I think he's made 4 or 5 really, really good blocks. He looks a really good goalkeeper.
Jordan Edge with the ball, made his way through Manchester under 19s, then England under 19s. Rolls it into the path of Ward, whose drive is blocked. 10 seconds remaining in the first half. Can England get one back? Goldstein to Ward, giving it away. Here's Arsene away for Wales, and a timely block by Dougie Reid. Job the Manchester man came across there and cleared the danger. A long way back for England if Wales get the next goal in this contest. Here's the man who scored them both, Chris Hugh. 17 is Chris Jones. Darcy man rolls it back to Elliot Thomas. Thomas exerting some energy there with a little give and go. An England ball on the near side with 45 seconds remaining. Doug Reid, Goldstein. Edge to Ward. Turn his man and get the shot away. Can't because Chris Hugh stuck to him like a limpet then, didn't he?
Again, very tight in defence from Wales. They play man to man and they do not give you an inch. You've really got to work hard to buy yourself some time and space.
31 seconds remain, and that was very similar to the way England got a goal yesterday just before the half-time break. Blocked by the goalkeeper this time. It'll be another England ball. Jordan Edge to take it. The whistle's gone. Not sure what the officials seen or heard, but just having a quiet word with the players over there. And England ball again. Edge back to Ward, and again deflected away for a corner kick. No way through at the moment, Sean.
No, the shot count is going up, but that's just trying to find that half yard. To be fair, they've had 3 or 4 really good chances. Those are the ones that we've really frustrated with at half time that they didn't take.
That ball's gone straight out of play by Jordan Edge. Played all the way back to Mark Croft, so England could begin their work from deep, but unfortunately couldn't keep the ball inside the white lines. Elliot Thomas, 17 seconds remain, 15, 14. Thomas forward, ball out on the near side. The clock stops with 10 seconds remaining in the first half. Wales leading by 2-0. And number 2 on your screen there, Chris Hugh with both the goals. 2 left-footed strikes. 4 seconds, 3, 2. And there is the half-time hooter, and Wales have almost delivered the perfect away performance. They've seized an early initiative, built on it, got a second goal, and lead at the break by 2-0. Plenty for the England think tank to work on during the half-time break, but here with his thoughts on what he's seen so far, England under-23 head coach Sean Kitson.
Well, like you just said, really, to reiterate, Wales have played a really good away performance there. Defensively, haven't changed anything from game one, really tight man-to-man, and just put a few questions to the England defence in those 1v1s, and Chris Hugh has really taken his opportunities. England, they got back into the game in terms of possession in that middle third of the game, and 2 or 3 great chances that they just didn't take. That will frustrate them. They've got to go again, get their heads up and try to make those openings in the second half count.
Yeah, they've had pretty decent last 5 minutes actually, England. As you say, 2 behind, they've had to chase the game a little bit, and there were just 1 or 2 half chances there that on another day they could have stuck away, and I guess that's going to be one of the positives that Mike Skubala is going to be accentuating. You are still very much in this contest. Absolutely,
right up to that final third of the court. They are good possession, they are creating chances, and they've got to really take them now, and hopefully second half they can push on, a bit more confidence in terms of those 1v1 areas. I think that makes a real big difference in a tight game if someone can create that overload.
Thanks very much to Sean. More from Sean in the second half, so half time here at St George's Park, and Wales looking to avenge their defeat from yesterday evening when they went down by 2-1 here, lead at the break by 2-0. Chris Hugh with both goals, both left-footed strikes. Not a lot that England goalkeeper Mark Croft could do with either of them. So Wales in a very decent position in that first half. Of course, the remainder of the contest, the second half, will come your way here on FA TV. The half-time interval here at St George's Park will be around about 15 minutes. There will be an on-pitch interview with Sean Kitson for you to enjoy in the next minute or two. And there's also going to be a little presentation.
So
we'll
half-time
hand you over
here
to our
then at
announcer
St George's
in the arena,
Park with that scoreline
Adrian.
at England 0, Wales 2. We now have a presentation on the pitch. We are making a presentation to the first futsal league club in England to have achieved FA Charter Standard status. Charter Standard, hugely important in the development of football in this country. Would you please welcome onto the pitch from the Chesterfield Futsal League, the chair, Oliver Couch, and the treasurer, Simon Bannister. Guys, first of all, I've got to say congratulations for achieving Charter Standard status. What does that mean to you?
Well, thank you very much. It means that we are a well-run, well-established league, but more than that, it means we have plans for developing futsal by putting on courses for coaches and courses for referees, as well as to develop the sport and get more and more kids playing it.
I understand that there was a conference here at St George's Park in 2014, Catalyst for Change. That kick-started things for you?
Yes, yeah, we went from there. We saw that there was a big lack of futsal in certain areas, so we decided to do something about it and move forward that way.
And how have you found sort of talking with other people involved in football? What have other people made of your sort of commitment to futsal?
It's gone down very well. We started quite slowly, and I think that's quite typical of futsal developments. But more and more coaches are talking to other coaches that play football, saying, come along on Fridays. The kids thoroughly enjoy it, and it helps them develop their football skills as well as playing a new sport.
Just one more question. What do you make of the game so far today?
Very well, very good. I'd change a few things, but that's...
You've not got a bit of Welsh in you anywhere, have you?
Not at all, not at all.
Just one final thing about the Chesterfield Futsal League. I understand 35 teams in the league, 13 clubs playing from the under-7 upwards, and one team doing a 50-mile round trip to play. You're clearly doing something right.
And I think that's one of the things that pleases us so much. We've got quite a lot of clubs who've come quite a long way. And that shows a commitment on their side, and it shows that there's a real demand for futsal and more futsal as well.
That's excellent. Well, congratulations, as I say again, being the first futsal league in England to achieve that charter standard status. Would I like to now introduce from the Derbyshire Football Association, the Chief Executive Officer, Dawn Heron, to make the presentation, to present these guys with their plaque and their certificate. Would you please put your hands together once again for the Chesterfield Futsal League. So our congratulations to those guys. So we continue here on the pitch at half-time at St George's Park and live on FA TV as well. I'd now like to introduce onto the pitch the chap who's been co-commentating on the live stream on the web. Would you please welcome onto the pitch the under-23 head coach, Sean Kitson. Sean, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Very good.
Now, you've actually got a little bit of a fault. I mean, you're in England branding here. You are the under-23s coach, but there is a little bit of a connection with Wales.
Yes, I played for Wales International Futsal for 4 years.
22 caps, I believe.
That is correct, yep.
And how many as captain?
12 as captain.
Okay, so you've got good pedigree in futsal, obviously, which is why you are now involved with the England setup and the under-23s. Obviously, as I say, a foot in both camps, so there may be a little bit of pleasure in watching a couple of goals for Wales, but your thoughts on that first half?
It was, I suppose, followed a little bit of suit from the first game. England had, lion's share of possession. They'll probably be kicking themselves at those few counter-attacks, 2v1s and 3v1s that they didn't take. But Wales have defended really well man-to-man. And Chris Hugh, to be fair to him, has made a difference. He didn't play yesterday because he was playing in the Welsh Premier League, and he's 2 chances, 2 goals. So that's futsal. There's not much in it, but you take your chances, you put yourself in a good place.
We're talking to Graham Dell and Pete Sturgis on the pitch at half-time yesterday, and one of the things that Graham did say is that when you get the chances, you absolutely have to take them, and that's what Wales have done in this first half.
Absolutely. I think England probably had half a dozen good chances. Wales probably had 2. You know, they made out of pretty much nothing and took them. So England have now got to go again, regroup, put a bit more pressure on Wales, create those overloads. I'd like to see them play a little bit more 1v1 as well. I think when Cookie's played 1v1 in certain areas, he's managed to create overloads, and it was a lovely ball to the back post. Can they do that a little bit more?
Now, just looking earlier today, there was an exhibition game with your under-23s team against Kettering Futsal Club, which Kettering is a team that I believe you also have a bit of a connection with.
Yeah. So my newest club, I've just joined them as a player and helping out the coaching there, and they're a fantastic setup. The team manager, Sam Hallett's done a brilliant job, and it's great to see that they've got all age groups in place, you know, development team, women's team. It's a really fantastic setup, so I'm having a great time there at the moment, helping the guys.
And any feedback from your players from that game? Did they enjoy it? I mean, the result, not the greatest result in the world, but what did they make of the whole thing being involved on a full international level?
Well, I just said to all of them, I wish someone would put the ball on the goal. It's not too many 0-0 futsal games that you get, but no, they thoroughly enjoyed it. Being on this stage is great. I mean, the setup and environment here is second to none. So they had a great time, and actually, it's nice to see the things that have been working on in training, both from the 23s and from the Kettering guys, sort of come off a little bit.
So one kind of final question, Sean. Obviously, you're the head coach of an international team at the under-23s. Mike Skubala is in there in the changing room with the England team at the moment. So if you were in his shoes, your team are 2-0 down. What are you saying to the players right now?
Well, first of all, I'd get them to relax a little bit. You just saw a couple of moments there at the back end of the second half. Got a little bit sloppy, a little bit of miscommunication. Just to relax, remind them of the game plan, continue to create those chances, and as we've already mentioned, you've got to take them. One other thing that I'd probably look to do is probably maybe press them a little bit more now, mix it up in that defensive sense, and attacking-wise, set up those 1v1s. I think England got some really good players in those 1v1s that they could utilise them a little bit more.
Well, we'll find out in the second half how those conversations have gone, and we'll see what happens in the second half. Sean, very many thanks for joining us on the court here at St George's Park for that sort of half-time summary. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the England under-23 coach, Sean Kitson.
Thanks very much to our on-arena presenter, Adrian Eyre, just having a chat to Sean Kitson out on the arena for the public that are inside the arena here at St George's Park, and we await the return of the two sides. England trailing by 2-0. They are currently ranked 55 in the world. Wales ranked 85. England have risen 7 places this year. The game, as I mentioned earlier, is still relatively new in the United Kingdom. England played their first international as recently as 2003. Graham Dell, who was in the commentary box yesterday, their first full-time head coach. Pete Sturgis replaced him, and Mike Skubala, who's now come on board, leading England at the moment, their third full-time head coach. One or two of the Welsh players just making their way back into the arena, and guessing that Lee Jones, as he did yesterday, is going to replace Matt Morris in goal. He's been out there working with the coaching staff through the last 3 or 4 minutes, so you'd imagine that he will probably be the man to start the second half. Sean, fresh from his interviewing commitments out there on the arena, has climbed the stairs back to the commentary position, and we're just waiting for the players to make their way back. Here come the Welsh team. Again, it looks as if they're going to make a change in goal.
Yeah, it looks like they're dishing out half a game each for Matt and Lee. It'd be interesting to see Lee. I mean, probably be a little bit upset with the goal yesterday that you can see in the second half. So hopefully he can have a good second half today.
Just seeing your pictures, some of the Welsh players coming back. As Graham pointed out yesterday, the benches actually swap over at half-time, don't they?
That's right. It's to allow your substitutions in your defensive half. So obviously it's roll on and roll off subs. It's happening very, very quickly, and it means you can get defensive coverage on your own goal rather than going back on down to the other end of the court to swap over. So it's a tactical thing more than anything.
Some England players making their way now back out of the changing room area. I can see Rayoni Medina with one of the bibs on, so I'm guessing now he's just taken it off in front of us, so he probably will start. Going to be one of the England outfield four, and it looks as if England are going to make a goalkeeping change as well, and this is going to be a first cap for Dylan Malpass, who plays his futsal for the University of Nottingham. Just getting a congratulatory handshake there. So it looks very much as if both goalkeepers have been replaced during the break, and it's going to be a first international cap for Dylan Malpass. A player you know at all or know anything about?
No, not to be honest. No, not. I don't think I played against him. Not seen too much from him. Only in training. But Andy Redding, the goalkeeping coach there, just wishing him luck, and it's a great opportunity for him now with the game the way it's poised. Wish him all the best of luck. It looks like England starting with, a strong four that they're starting here. Very experienced. I wonder if it'd be interesting if they go right at Wales right from the restart.
Yeah, Doug Reed, Rayoni Medina, James Webb and Stuart Cook look as if they're going to be the outfield four, although Russell Goldstein also out there, hasn't got a bib on as yet. Wales, it looks as if they're going with Chris Hugh, Elliot Thomas, Johnny Nelson, who didn't get any game time in the first half, and who's that over in the far side, bent down, number 14 for Wales, Naeem Arsam, is also preparing himself. We're just waiting for the officials now. The players are eager to get on with it. They've come out a little early. We're just waiting for our officials to get us underway. The match referee Peter Nurse and the second referee Carl Jones just checking the goal netting at either end. Not really seen anything untoward that would suggest the goal nets have been moved, but they have to be checked nonetheless, and we'll be underway in just a moment or two. England 0, Wales 2. 2 goals from Chris Hugh, the Welsh captain, separating the two teams. So an uphill task here at St George's Park with FATV, watching England v Wales with Dave Bracegirdle and Sean Kitson. I hope you're very much enjoying the coverage of this futsal weekend, and that's a decent looking effort from Elliot Thomas. That wouldn't have been the ideal way for Dylan Malpass to start his international career had that sneaked in.
You almost caught him. You do see that at the highest level, as goalkeepers have a responsibility to sweep up, and any balls over the top, he just almost got a bit too high there. It was an interesting idea from Elliot Thomas. Wales on the break.
Johnny Nelson, decent stop from Malpass. Some cries of handball as it ricocheted into the body of Stuart Cook, who clears his lines. Dramatic start to the half then. Here's Elliot Thomas again. Orsan is the man furthest forward for Wales. There he was getting a touch on, and now Stuart Cook can surge forward at pace. Got a bit of a push in the back from Nelson, goes all the way, and a decent save with his feet by the Wales replacement goalkeeper Lee Jones. And again England having the sight of the Welsh goal but not able to find the back of the net.
First involvement for Lee Jones, stretched out, fantastic toe. But there's that Cookie taking somebody out of the game, creating an overload, creating an opportunity for himself. Keep doing that, causing problems.
So a Welsh ball, just waiting for the ball to be returned to James Webb, and then the referee says, right now we'll start the 4-second clock. Wales on the counter, but they ran into a wall of England players, and there was a foul by James Webb. Thinking back to the end of the first half, England did pretty well really not to concede a 10-metre penalty. They were on 5 fouls for about the last 5 minutes of the half, weren't they?
I think they dropped back a bit defensively to sort of half court. Just they didn't want to catch themselves out by giving away that 6th foul.
Arsene. Elliot Thomas. There's Johnny Nelson. Ball forward. Comes back to England. Doug Reed. Strapping on his fingers. Rolls the ball to Stuart Cook. Mike Skubala, the England head coach, in your shot there in the white shirt on the end of the row. He'll have earned his money. His half-time team talk can inspire England to turn this round. It's a fairly ambitious ball forward. And England make a change. Off comes Doug Reed, on comes the industrious Liam Palfreyman. Elliot Thomas in possession for Wales. 10 is Johnny Nelson. Back to Thomas. Chris Hugh is on the far side. Nelson instead goes back to Thomas. Just suddenly opened up for him and he strikes the upright. Nobody there. England defenders went a missing and Elliot Thomas strikes the goalkeeper's left hand upright.
Another parallel line pass, flick down the line. They've used that 2 or 3 times in both games and getting shots off it in success.
Palfreyman to Cook. Again, a purposeful stride forward to Webb. Now Medina. Will he shoot? He will indeed. Decent stop. Well parried in truth by Chris Jones. And it's turned away for an England ball.
Nice open second half. It really have. We had 3 or 4 great efforts already. I'm liking the feeling of this second half, David.
2-0 to Wales. Both goals by Chris Hugh. There's Palfreyman to Medina. Palfreyman again. Trying to get the angle for the shot. Lays it off to Cook. In again to Medina. And they get it back to Cook. Nelson goes to ground. Got an important block in. And Arsene dispossesses Cook and just lifts the ball away. Anywhere will do.
Cook started this half really, really strong, being really positive, having a go at his opposite man, and again creating problems for the Welsh.
Palfreyman back to Cook. And Palfreyman again. James Webb holds it into the path of Medina. 4 Helvetia players on the pitch at the moment for England. Just thinking back to the first half. Again, no timeouts taken by Mike Skubala in the first half. Not by Wales either, but trailing 2-0. Might just have wanted to get the players together with 3 or 4 minutes remaining.
Even if it had been from a set piece, you know, you've got 1 minute to work out a set piece move, corner or kicking. Would have been potentially a nice idea.
Elliot Thomas. Just lifted forward. Out for an England ball. Not like you in the game earlier in the day. England under 23s. I think you tried to take 2, didn't you?
Yeah, slight rule change in that game, being a rolling clock. I thought I had 1 per half as per normal, but as it was a rolling clock game rather than stop clock, it was 1 per game. So yeah, I got caught out second half, told no, you can't have a timeout.
16 minutes remain in the match, and now Ward, and he's off target, and he'll be disappointed there. It did open up for him. Did get a glimmer of a sight of the Welsh goal, and then blazed his right-footed effort high and wide.
It's really good control of the sole of the foot. He did the hard work, rolled his man, bringing that ball inside. And yeah, probably would have wanted better from the finish.
As Chris Hughes on a hat-trick, not going to get it with that one. Yes, earlier in the afternoon. An exhibition game, a development game, they call it here. Again, it's just a part of the whole package for the spectators that come here. But good experience also for the players. Sean's England under 23 side played a strong Kettering side, and it's a very competitive game. Both sides effectively cancelled each other out. 0-0 draw, but very, very entertaining, as 0-0 draws sometimes can be. Wholesale changes here being made by Wales. On comes Maynard and Williams and Hudson. In fact, they've left neighbours on the court. And it is going to be a Wales ball, and the officials are suggesting they might want to get on with it.
Just trying to ask the referee to count that 4 seconds a little bit quicker, I think, England there.
Here's Arsene. Holds it up nicely, and out comes Malpas. Swiftly out of his area there. Wales ball. Arsene now does come off. Zulkarnaen, a skillful player, comes on, and he will stand in front of the goalkeeper there. Just looking for any scraps. Maynard doesn't find its way through to Zulkarnaen. Here's Jordan Edge on for England. Rolls it forward to Ward, and he will surely get on the score sheet this afternoon. I thought that had to be the moment. Did everything right, really. Knew the goalkeeper was advancing. Played it past the goalkeeper, Chris Jones, but unfortunately for him and for England, just past the upright.
Just another chance goes a begging. You see the reaction of the England bench when it didn't find the back of the net. Disappointing, but again, good moves. They're still creating, and that's the main thing. They're still creating. Someone's got to take a chance for them.
Staying right up top, Richard Ward. As I say that, then he comes deep to receive it. Gives it to Jordan Edge. Back to Ward. Back to Edge. Ward complaining he was being held off the ball. Doug Reid to Russ Goldstein. To Reid. Wales have done well here. They've got all the men behind the ball, keeping England at distance. There's Jordan Edge, run out of room.
Richard Ward started off well in that pivot position. He seems a bit of a different player, much more aggressive, stronger, holding it up with the sole of his foot.
Be a Wales ball. England rotating their players again. Here comes Webb and Cook. In fact, it's the same four that went off a couple of minutes ago, with Medina and Paul Freeman also on. Webb and Cook work so well together, and this will run through to Paul Freeman, who strikes the cross of St George there, high on the gantry at that end of the arena here at St George's Park.
Nice little set move from England, little ball down the side and round the corner for a first time shot.
Good skill by Zulkarnaen to retain possession, play it back to Maynard. Hudson back to Zulkarnaen. The back flick didn't work, and Stephen Cook just run out of space. There's ball. There's Maynard, back to Rhys Williams. One of the Cardiff University players. Forward to Zulkarnaen. It's gone behind for an England ball.
Just trying to play a little bit quick. He hasn't played too many minutes tonight, Zulkarnaen. He's just trying to play a little bit too quick. He's a strong pivot, good first touch. Just take your time and bring players into it. Maybe it's just his first few minutes, he's just getting his feet.
He played most of the game yesterday. Back to Medina, does very well there. The England captain, Leone Medina, held the ball up nicely, turned away from his man and tried to lay it back into the path of James Webb, but defenders back there scrambled it away to safety. Almost 6 minutes gone in the second half, and another opportunity for England goes awry with Medina this time. A left-footed effort wide of the mark.
I'm not sure how Lee Jones hasn't picked the ball out of the goal. 4 or 5 great chances.
England ball. Sense if they can get the first one, get their supporters back on side, give the players a little bit of belief. Pass there from Paul Freeman. His possession back to the Welsh side. Reece Williams. Something you don't get every day in futsal, an aerial tussle there. And the referee's just telling the England captain just to calm things down, but a bit of an aerial battle between James Webb and Dean Maynard.
England are on top. I think they're just getting frustrated. They just can't find that finish. They've got to keep plugging away, keep doing the same things. Can they be a little bit more ruthless?
England have committed 2 fouls in this second half. The Welsh foul count still on 0. Michael Skubala, as you can see, on his feet again, just in front of our commentary position. A lot of positives for England at the moment, but not necessarily reflected in the scoreline. 2-0 to Wales. England certainly been much better since the half-time interval.
Yeah, they've moved the ball better. They created passing lines to the pivot, the target player, if you like, and they've also been more aggressive in those 1v1 situations.
Maynard, another first-time ball upfield to Zulkarnian. Hudson, Reece Williams, Welsh ball. Just over 13 minutes remain in the second half here at St George's Park. 2 goals by Welsh captain Chris Hugh in the first half. A mix up there between Williams and Hudson. So again, England have the ball in enemy territory. Cook to Webb. Throws it nicely down the line to Medina. Plays it off Williams. And press in again. Medina. Oh, and he's just lifted it over the top. Just swiveled quickly, got his shot away, couldn't keep it down.
That's the area where you want him on the ball. Turns so quickly on his left foot, great shot. There's just so little space in between those Wales defenders. Got to use the full width of the court. Can they use a little bit more length? Create those little openings in the middle of the court.
Reece Williams, Dean Maynard. There's Paul Freeman. Cook again. Richard Ward tagging with Williams on the edge of the Wales penalty area. That's a nice layoff. And Webb sees his effort saved by Lee Jones. He delivers the ball upfield, and that I think will be an England ball. Will indeed. Nice from Cook. Back to Paul Freeman, another foul. It's 2 in a matter of seconds against the Welsh side.
Tempo of the game's really increased. Getting a bit more competitive now. Players calling for more decisions. They're realising as time runs out, every decision's really, really important. A little bit more pressure for the referees.
Cook, Webb, Ward and Paul Freeman, the England outfield 4. Hudson, Maynard, Williams, Zulkarnian, the Welsh 4. Here's Stuart Cook. Doesn't go for goal. Plays it to Paul Freeman, and now Wales on the counter.
Nice set piece there. Little ball down the side. Little block at the back post, and Paul Freeman coming round. Just couldn't get the finish. Hit his wrong leg.
Just over 12 minutes remain. Ample time for England to get themselves back in this. Paul Freeman, Russell Goldstein, and Ward. And Reece Williams did really well there. Tigerish challenge, Welsh ball. Wholesale changes made by Wales. On comes the captain, Chris Hugh, Adam Orme and Naeem Arsan are on. And now the fourth change as Reece Williams, who was over on the far side, makes way for Elliot Thomas. 2-3 seconds, and Thomas had to take that quickly, and in doing so, nearly handed possession back to England. There's Chris Hugh. Nice from Cook. He's been as good as anybody in white today. Rolls this one forward, can't pick out Richard Ward. Cook gets it back again. Go along with that. Stuart Cook as good as anybody in the England team.
Particularly second half, he'll be a little bit disappointed. He just let his touch get away from there. It was a poor pass by the Welsh. I think it was by Elliot Thomas, and he had an opportunity to go through onto goal there. Just lack of touch. But yeah, he's played well. He's affecting the game, and that's what I think a few more of them need to do. Good on the ball. Let's affect the game in this final third now.
Jordan Edge to Richard Ward. A couple of half chances in this second half. Rolls it back to Doug Reed. Now Edge. There's Reed. His shot is blocked. Now pass out of his area. Gives it quickly to Jordan Edge. Clock continues to wind down. Just 11 minutes remain. Reed. Again to his Manchester clubmate, Jordan Edge. There's Ward. Ward's shot takes a deflection. I thought it took a deflection, but the officials say it will be a Welsh ball.
Again, good build-up play from England, playing in that 3-1. Nice little rotation out from Doug Reed, opening up the pass to Richard Ward. And again, he's done that. He's another player who's played pretty well this afternoon, and particularly second half. Nice touch, nice turn. Not quite the finish, and that's been a little bit of the story for England.
That's the voice of Sean Kitson, England under-23 head coach, former Welsh international. Very much a foot in both camps. Summariser this afternoon, and very much enjoying his company and his commentary. 10.5 minutes to go here at St George's Park. England with work to do. They trail by 2-0. Very nearly ran through to Goldstein. Adam Orme did well there to get back and just snuff out the danger. England ball.
I think Wales, the pressure is building. They're defending really resolutely. Can they, from their point of view, can they keep it going? England are creating those chances.
Poor corner, but England ball again as Orme puts it out. Lead to Edge. A lot of energy and effort expanded last night. These sides playing here. An evening game at St George's Park, which England won by 2-1. Came from behind to win it yesterday. Can they do the same here? Chris Hugh scored both of the goals with his left foot and drills it again from distance. And good block by the feet of England goalkeeper Dylan Malpass.
Another example of Chris Hugh in his favourite position on that right hand side, just cutting in on his left foot, and another shot and decent save from Dylan Malpass.
Just under 10 minutes now. England have huffed and puffed, but they can't break down this Welsh door. Whistle's gone. Richard Ward and Elliot Thomas had a coming together over there. Not entirely sure what the decision is. Still a Welsh ball there.
I think it was just a talking to, a little bit of handbags, and then goal clearance for Wales.
There's Jordan Edge, had 2 bites at that one. Now gets it and gets the shot away just over the top of Lee Jones' crossbar. England have had a considerable number of attempts, certainly in this second half, but still to find the back of the net.
It's interesting. When I was watching the game yesterday, I thought England needed to shoot more, and they didn't shoot much, but they got the 2 goals. Tonight, they're certainly getting more shots off. They're just not getting their just rewards. Little slip in concentration by Wales, letting it go under his foot there.
Again, England make changes. Paul Freeman in possession. Webb and Cook are on, and Medina back on up front. Stuart Cook on for Liam. Paul Freeman gets the shot away from a tight angle. Well blocked by goalkeeper Lee Jones. Connor Rogers Hasn't had much game time this evening. Number 6 comes on for Wales. Referee just speaking to the Welsh defenders, and now he raises his arm to signal that the 4 seconds have started. Arsene on the break for Wales. Thomas to his left, goes on his own, and goalkeeper Malpass dived away there. Wales pleading their case for a corner kick, and officials don't agree. There's a corner at the other end though.
Sorry, David. Yeah, great throw from Dylan Malpass. Naeem Arsene was complaining it should have been a corner. I'm not sure if it should have, but Cook was free, didn't pick up his man. Great throw from Malpass. Smart save, Lee James at the near post.
Yellow card has been shown to Naeem Arsene, presumably for his protestations. I was watching Mike Skubala. He just turned, looked skywards and went, wow. Thought England were certainties to score there. As I'm sure he must have thought on a number of occasions in this half. Decent ball forward again from Webb, but nothing happening for England. Just getting a little bit pushy and shovey there. Medina and Connor Rogers. Arsene has just been shown a yellow card. Just having another word from the official, Peter Nurse, on the near side. Carl Jones on the far side. There's Cook. 8.5 minutes. England tried a lot of things, but unable to get on the score sheet in this second part of the double header, which has been very well attended, sold out yesterday. No seats on the far side again today. Here's Paul Freeman. Now Webb. Put out by Arsene. Nice little step over there, and now Connor Rogers' ball forward has gone out. Can't find Chris Hugh. And with 8 minutes remaining, it's England 0, Wales 2.
Tempo's picked up a little bit, certainly from the England guys, showing a little bit of frustration as well. From the Wales point of view, they're also getting a little bit frustrated. It's got to manage the game from their perspective.
There's Paul Freeman. Far side for Welsh ball. A lot of activity here at this National Football Centre over the next couple of days. Of course, England's 11-a-side international footballers have a friendly at Wembley on Friday against Germany, and then play Brazil 4 days later. But, I understand they'll all be here in residence for the next 2 or 3 days. Moving in tomorrow. Paul Freeman. To Medina. There's Paul Freeman. Now Cook. Rolls it forward again to Medina. Elliot Thomas has done well there, stuck to him. A little scrappy, England just can't create a really clear opening. I think that one's going to be thrown out. It is, and it remains 2-0 to Wales. Changes again. Goldstein to Paul Freeman. Doug Reed. Richard Ward. And Paul Freeman. Nice little give and go, but Chris Hugh read it nicely and then shepherded the ball back to his goalkeeper. Jones again, an overarm throw out upfield, but can't find his intended target, Connor Rogers.
Chris Hughes showing how important he is defensively for the Wales team as well. We know about his attacking. We've seen that tonight with his shooting and his ability in front of goal. But as a captain of the leader, really important as well. Great turn from Richard Ward.
There's a goal for England. It's Russell Goldstein from close range. Richard Ward manufacturing it down the left, got the cross in, and this time England are able to find the target. Russ Goldstein from close range makes it England 1, Wales 2.
Brilliant play from Richard Ward. He's had a really good second half. He's been in that little pocket on the left-hand side, back to goal. Great little disguised turn with the sole rolling his man. His defender got a little bit too tight. Great finish from Russell at the near post.
Plenty of time left for England now. 6 minutes 37 seconds on the clock. Referee just checking that frame of the goal hadn't moved. In fact, it had moved. It's now being put back in place. Eagle-eyed official there, Peter Nurse.
Big job now for Wales. From their point of view, can they manage the game? Can they manage the game? This is going to really test them. England, tails are up.
It's Maynard. Back to Hudson. Near side, number 5 is Rhys Williams. Down the line to Zulkarnian. Maynard again. Tussling for the ball with a couple of England players. Jordan Edge goes to ground. England ball. You can hear the crowd have just become a little more animated. Swig on his drink from Mike Skubala. He'll be pleased that at least England have got on the board. Now then, can they complete the turnaround? Doug Reed. Jordan Edge rolls it nicely to Goldstein. Had a couple of decent efforts yesterday on target that were well saved. Here he is again, rolls it forward to Richard Ward, and he's saying he was pushed. And the referee's saying, oh, I'm in charge here.
Lovely little pass, trying to get it in behind the Welsh defending. Richard Ward, little layoff and spinning behind, and a little bit unfortunate. I think there was a bit of contact there, certainly impeded his run.
Yeah, I thought he had a case as well, actually, but I suppose the old Ways and Means Act. There are ways that you can speak to the referee and ways you can't. There's Rhys Williams. Back to Dean Maynard. Williams did really well there to retain possession. Forward to Zulkarnian. Malpass did well to come out of his area. Wiped out Doug Reed as well, but got the ball away. Now Jordan Edge. This is a decent looking ball, and the feet of Lee Jones keeps Wales with their noses in front at 2-1. Ward getting a snapshot away, and the goalkeeper just did well to spread himself and prevent his net from being breached for a second time.
Again, Ward causing problems. A lovely little flick pass down the line by Goldstein. Ward just spinning and turning. Nice reaction, leg save.
There's Medina, tries a back heel. And the goalkeeper alert. This will fall to Zulkarnian, the block from Cook. Sliding challenge over on the far side. Puts the ball out. Tempo has been good throughout, it really has, but if anything it's now approaching 5th gear status. There's Maynard. Back to Rhys Williams. Just under 5 minutes to go here at St George's Park. England 1, Wales 2, and the ball with the England goalkeeper Dylan Malpass winning his first full cap. Just rolled down the line, and Medina claiming that he was fouled, but the ball I think had crossed over the sideline. It'll be a Wales ball.
Almost got away with a lovely little nutmeg, little spin and turn, get away from Williams, but yeah, the ball had gone over the line. England now trying to press, in the closing stages, put a little bit more pressure on that Welsh defence, win the ball back early and see if they can counter-attack.
Stuart Cook to Liam Palfreyman. Cook, Webb near side. Back to his Helvetia teammate. Palfreyman and Medina both come short. 4 England players rotating there. Palfreyman. Medina's right in front of the goalkeeper and he's waiting for the cutback, and when it came, Rhys Williams it was who just managed to get a toe in and prevent England from having the easiest opportunity to square it up. Good signs these for England. Liam Palfreyman coming again. Back to Stuart Cook. James Webb once more down the line to Medina. Now Cook can get a shot away, rolls it instead to Webb, and he will shoot into the side netting. This is really good from England, but unable to get back on terms at the moment. Here's the thoughts of Sean Kitson.
High quality stuff technically. Raoni Medina really close control in the corner. Great little check and run from Stuart Cook inside. Pal Freeman also setting up those 1v1s, beating his man, causing problems.
A couple of times Lee Jones has thrown it straight into the stand. And in the mild displeasure of his teammates, no doubt. Paul Freeman to Cook. Now Medina. Cook again. 3 minutes 24 seconds on the clock as the ball goes out on the far side. England 1, Wales 2, as you can see for yourselves on the screen. You're watching the FA TV's coverage of this international futsal weekend. Cook to Webb, forward to Medina. James bowls it out, but straight to Cook. Form he's in at the moment. That's the last player that Wales want to give it to. He goes on a run, and the shot is deflected into the path of Chris Hugh. Paul Freeman went to ground and has been penalised by the referee. Paul Freeman saying, I didn't make contact, but he did slide in towards the challenge.
I think it was impeding the run of Chris Hugh a little bit. Some would give it, perhaps some wouldn't. If I'm Wales, I'll be telling Lee Jones, you control the tempo of the game as the goalkeeper. Maybe look after that possession a little bit more. He's thrown it 3 or 4 times and he's turned possession over to England. And these Welsh 4 have been defending a large part of that last few minutes.
So we do have a timeout taken by Mike Skubala, the England head coach. 1 minute timeout. 2 minutes 46 seconds remain here, and just see the tempo the game's been played at. The two officials there, just both in the centre circle, just wiping their brow. It's been one of those games, hasn't it? It really has been played at a high old pace.
I mean, they do cover some yardage going up and down on either side, but it's not just the physical. It's I've reffed a few games myself, and just the focus you have to have, because everything's happening so quickly. Can you remember what's happened? That's what I always ask the referees, see if I can get one over on them. But yeah, they've done a decent job tonight, to be fair to them.
A couple of yellow cards shown earlier in the piece. Richard Ward for England, Naeem Arsan for Wales. But, it's not been overly nasty, overly physical. It's been competitive, it's been fun, but there is the honour of victory at stake here, and Wales leading by 2-1 as play restarts then. Just under 3 minutes to go. England have used up their one timeout permitted in this half.
Right, power play now. James Webb coming on as the goalkeeper.
And there's a shot from Cook. James Webb quickly gets off and did a mal pass back in goal. So it's almost, people who play five-a-side will be, I think the phrase is rush goalies. We'll talk about it more as and when England get possession, and if they do it again, as Cook goes on his way, and this will fall nicely for Dougie Reid, and his effort is blocked by Chris Hugh. England are going to do it again. Just for people who are new to the game, Sean, what are England trying to do here?
Just trying to overload in attack. So they brought James Webb on as a goalkeeper. So if it does go out of play for a goal clearance, he can use his hands in the D, just like a normal goalkeeper. But in your own half as a goalkeeper, you only get 4 seconds. So you can see him now. He's positioned in the attacking half, and he has his unlimited time in that half. So they're going to try and move the ball quickly, create angles to use that overload to get shots off. Watched Wales do it last night, kept possession nicely. They had one opportunity in the back post, but didn't really get any shots off. So England have got 2 minutes 22. Got to get some shots off as well, otherwise you can't just keep the ball for passing sake.
Here is Webb, now to Doug Reid. Webb again. Claiming handball against Hugh, and this is rolled towards the goal from distance by, I think it was Elliot Thomas, just off target. Interesting to see James Webb trying to get back there as quickly as he could. He's never going to stop that. Could have been the third Welsh goal, and that really would have taken the game beyond England at this late stage, you fancy. 1 minute 50 on the clock. There is Webb. He won't venture too far from the halfway line. Cook to Reid. Here is Webb then, he does make a surge forward, and that's nice for England, they've got a goal! Beautifully played, Medina into the path of Richard Ward, and from close range he couldn't miss and doesn't, and with 1 minute 36 seconds on the clock, England have come back from 2 down to tie it all up. It's England 2, Wales 2.
Fantastic power play goal, accuracy of the passing, ball down the line, out to the back post and a simple tapping. That is essentially what you're looking to do, to create the overload.
There's Elliot Thomas losing possession for England, and now can they go on and complete what really would be an incredible turnaround and go on and win this. They're looking forward with Reid, and his effort is turned away for a corner kick by goalkeeper Lee Jones.
It'll just be interesting to see. Is confidence high enough? Will they continue to fly? Or has James Webb taken his fly goalie shirt off? I think he has.
1 minute 13. There's Cook driving it, and the goalkeeper just managed to block it, and Medina wins a corner kick. He had a really important part to play in that goal, Medina, unselfishly squaring it to Richard Ward. Minute 8 seconds remain. Spectators just being asked to stay off the pitch. There was an opportunity. Richard Ward, who was so joyously celebrating a goal a minute or so ago, should possibly have had another one there. It was a clear opening, but spooned it over the top. Good from England. As Reid forward to the pivot, Medina. And again to Ward, he's lost possession. Here's Chris Hugh, remember he's on a hat-trick. Great run from the Welsh skipper, and gets it away with his unfavoured right foot. Slightly off target, and with 52 seconds remaining, can either side snatch a dramatic victory now, or will it be honours shared with a 2-2 draw? Here's Ward, now to Cook. Plays it forward, gives possession back to Wales. How ambitious will they want to be? It's bowled forward, Arsene after it, but just no possibility of any backspin on the ball, is it, when it's thrown downfield like that?
It's really got to be a javelin throw. You know, as the top man, as the centre forward, if you like, the pivot that we call them in futsal, you want that ball fizzed in. But yeah, you Naeem Arsene against Stuart Cook there, so you can't do anything with that.
25 seconds to go. Doug Reid to Richard Ward. Chance for another attempt, and this one's over the top. Powerful strike from Richard Ward. 19.4 seconds remain on the clock. England 2, Wales 2.
Much more positive England. They've just upped the tempo. Individually they've been better. I think collectively first half they weren't too bad, but individually they've really stepped it up.
Lee Jones bowls it forward towards Arsene, headed away by Doug Reid. Again the ball is out. 15.3 seconds on the clock. 15 seconds can Wales manufacture.
I think Chris Hugh, possibly left foot here, wants to get a shot off. Here we go.
Here is Hugh. Drills it, and that's gone behind for a Welsh ball. Wales haven't taken their time out, have they? Just wondered if...
I mean, this is a brilliant time. 12 seconds to go. You've got a minute to set something up.
Yeah.
Set piece here, corner.
Anyway, Thomas to Hugh, out for another Welsh ball. 11 seconds to go. Thomas to Chris Hugh. Richard Ward drives him away from goal. Now Johnny Nelson, his first touch was poor, and England can break through Medina. 2 seconds, 1 second, chance for a shot away, and it's parried away in any case. Doug Reid trying to win it for England with a last gasp shot, but a good save from Lee Jones, and it finishes all square at 2 apiece. And there's a lot of smiles out there. There's a little bit of frustration, I'm sure, in the Welsh camp. They led 2-0 at half-time, 2 goals through Chris Hugh, and they frustrated England for a long time, deep into the half. England got one back through Russ Goldstein, and Richard Ward it was, with England employing the power play late on, getting the second England goal to leave us with a full-time score of 2 apiece. Your thoughts, Sean Kitson?
A really enjoyable game of futsal. It certainly came to life in those last 10 minutes. Game plan wise, I think Wales shaded it first half. They defended really well, took their chances. England didn't. But second half, England really came out, increased the tempo. Individually, 1v1 were much more positive. And I think, to be fair, on the balance of the chances that they created across the whole of the game, I think England deserved the draw. I think it would have been harsh on Wales maybe if England snuck it. But yeah, a really, really good game of futsal.
And a lot for Mike Skubala to take from this weekend going forward. Sometimes they say coaches learn a lot in times of adversity. He'll have been proud of the way they came back from that 2-goal deficit.
From half time, they reacted so much better. Stuart Cook, Richard Ward, Raoni Medina, Liam Powell-Freeman, they really stepped it up. And I guess he'll be saying to his players, how do we get that second half over the duration of 2 halves, a whole game? And they were a little bit slow, a little bit sloppy, and Wales capitalised first half. And I think from Wales, it gets hard. When you defend for large periods, it gets really, really tough. And it just probably ran out of legs, and maybe they didn't quite use their whole squad. So maybe that's something for them to look at, how they can increase that.
The Wales disappointment is evident in front of us, and it's tangible, isn't it? That they've been in a really good position. They kept England out for so long there, and they'll be very, very disappointed to have gone away from this weekend with a defeat yesterday and then a draw today, having led 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really tough to take. I mean, they were in a winning advantage, 2-0 up. They probably felt everything was going quite nicely, and fair play to England. They got back into the game, and I think on the basis of that, probably just deserved that. They certainly deserved that draw. Certainly made the more chances.
Well, thanks very much to Sean Kitson for his company and his expert commentary with us this afternoon. Very much hope you've enjoyed our weekend of futsal coverage here from St George's Park. This double header brought to you by FATV, and many thanks for all your kind comments about the coverage over the weekend. Full house both days here at St George's Park, and I'm hopefully going to welcome many of them back here for future futsal internationals. It's been a thrilling weekend. Yesterday, England taking the spoils, defeating Wales by 2-1. The final score here today, England 2, Wales 2.